life. There's so much advice out there. There's so many books out there, so much information. It's just an influx of information, of advice, of resources, and people want to be happy. Sometimes we are just fed false ideals, and we internalize them through osmosis, just by being and living, and these ideas seep into our brain. And I want to share with you 6 false attitudes good people live by on a daily basis. Now, Parshat Lecha offers us amazing insights on this topic. Every single Parsha is incredibly, incredibly powerful and applies to any day of the week. However, its uniqueness, its greatness can truly be applied for each individual week that it's designated to. We are told by our sages that we are obligated to say all the time, not suggested, not recommended, obligated to say, when will my deeds reach and resemble those of my forefathers and my foremothers? Now, wait a minute. This could be very, very overwhelming, because our forefathers and our foremothers were prophets. Many of them were prophets, and it's very awesome. It's overwhelming to think, wow, I have to be like them. I could be like them. We're not supposed to be like them, and we will never be exactly like them. However, my deeds have to resemble those that our forefathers and foremothers lived by. Their unconditional love, their sacrifice, their devotion to God. I have to resemble that in my life. How much do I resemble it currently? I have to constantly grow and evaluate and introspect to make sure and ask myself, when will my deeds reach and resemble those of my forefathers and foremothers? This involves a lot of hard work. This involves a lot of disciplining ourselves, working on ourselves. It's a lifetime process. Through my life coaching of other women, I have learned that we are so hard on ourselves. We ask ourselves, if only I read the right books, will I probably be perfect? Or we tell ourselves, if only I will have the right resources, if only I listen to the right lectures, I will probably do everything right. And the truth is, we need time to process things. We need to appreciate and acknowledge the process and celebrate every tiniest triumph. Every step is so important. And it's not just to be flowery, I am a very flowery speaker, and the way I coach, I am flowery. However, this is not to be flowery. This is the truth. The truth is, every little bit counts. Every little step counts. One small mitzvah, one small good deed changes the entire world. And this is such a powerful insight. If you do something, a good deed, a mitzvah, with all your heart and with good intention, you create an opportunity for someone else to do a mitzvah as well, in the purest form. And this is so powerful. For example, you can give tzedakah in the purest way, tzedakah, which is charity, $1, which isn't much to many people, $1, but it was given with a good intention, with a good heart, pure heart. You've just created an opportunity for someone else to do something great, pure in this world. So Avraham Avinu, Avraham our forefather, was told by Hashem to leave his birthright his birthplace of Haran of 75 years, to leave it, to leave everything he has, and he will be granted everything he has yearned for. Now, if Hashem gave you a phone call, if God gave you a phone call and told you, I'm going to send you to a place, just let's pack up and go. It's going to be an unfamiliar place. You won't speak the language. Everything will be new. Everything involves a new adjustment. I promise you, if you follow me, if you listen to me to this new destination that I'll send you, you will be granted everything you have been yearning for. Now, I promise you, you'll probably pack up and go and be ready on the next flight. The reason is we all want happiness. And the reason is, more importantly, that we instinctively, we internally want to trust in God, in the one who's omnipotent, omniscient, knows everything, knows what's best for us. That's what he told Abraham. Leave everything behind. Now, not only physically, he had to leave the ideals, the ingrained ideas of life, attitudes of life, corruption that he has been seeing and observing. All of the corruption, Hashem said, leave it, and I'm going to take you to a different place. And in this way, Abraham now was able to embrace a totally new, truthful life. We live in this world, and our world is constantly changing. What used to be unheard of years ago is now totally normal. And life is always changing. The world is changing. We want to live the truth. So there's only two ways in order to navigate this world successfully. And the answer is, number one, to learn consistently. On a consistent basis, learning. Once a week, once a day, you're constantly learning. When you're learning, you're growing. Number two is prayer. We have to pray, daven for siyata d'shmaya. Pray for divine assistance in order for Hashem to enlighten us, open up our hearts and brain in order for us to see the truth and live by it. The first false attitude that good people live by, many live by, is things have to make sense. Things have to make sense. If you own a computer, a watch, a phone, probably you've experienced at one point when it broke. Now, you didn't understand how it broke, why it broke. You don't even know how to fix it. You bring it to a professional who's knowledgeable in the field, and you trust that he's going to fix it, and you are going to use it again. Now, you trust in this person. It doesn't make sense to you how it works. You don't understand it, but you do it. Why does everything have to make sense to me in my life? The truth is, it doesn't. It doesn't. A person may say, I've learned 10 years and I didn't become a doctor. I've worked 20 years in the company and I didn't get a promotion. I read every good parenting book and my kids still hate me. And we can go on and on and on. I do favors for them and they never do favors for me. They always have excuses. We can have all of these things come up in our brain and we can say, it doesn't make sense. A plus B should equal C. It doesn't make sense. The world doesn't have to make sense. It was bashert. The answer to everything should be, it is bashert. Bashert is, it's meant to be. It's meant to happen. It was destined to happen. This is the best thing that could ever happen to me. Number two, I deserve to understand. I deserve to understand. We oftentimes go to Google and research everything that we need to know. Rebbetzin Esther Bela Schwartz has a friend who's a doctor. And she says that her patients come to her already having Googled what's wrong with them and telling her their diagnosis and what they should probably do just to confirm with her. And she's the doctor. She said it used to be that first you go to the doctor, then you do research to see if there's anything else that's out there that you can do. But it's not the case anymore. People say, I deserve to understand. Explain to me in medical terms, explain to me in my language what's happening to me. And yes, we need to understand, but you don't deserve to understand, and we don't understand everything. We don't have that kind of space in our brain, the type of intelligence to understand everything all the time. Number 3, carefully calculated actions on my part will achieve my goals. Carefully calculated actions on my part will achieve my goals. Let's say you made plans to go out and the babysitter canceled last minute. You're going to someone's house for a meal and you baked delicious chocolate chip cookies and you're going to bring it over and you told all of your children, do not eat the cookies. We are going to bring it over. And they didn't hear you. And every single cookie was eaten to the last crumb. They didn't hear you. You finish school and can't find a job with a decent pay, close location. Maybe the market went down and the job isn't in need anymore as much as it used to. Just because I did everything right doesn't mean the result will follow. The results that I hoped for will follow. And that's a fallacy that we live by, unfortunately. And we need to internalize that it is bashert. It is meant to be. The experience that I had, it was bashert that my children ate all the cookies. I was meant to buy something. I was made to. It was meant to be that I bring something else. Whatever it is, it wasn't meant to happen. Number 4, thin is good. Who said? Years ago, size 14 having a more full. How do I say this? I guess a more less slender body, a more plump body was attractive. Now thin is good. I want to tell you something. Just because somebody is thinner doesn't mean she's more beautiful, doesn't mean she's happier, and doesn't mean she's more attractive. And let's say she is more attractive, and let's say she is beautiful, and let's say she's thin. The moment she opens her mouth in an angry way, she's the most ugliest being on the planet. So just because you're thin doesn't mean it's good, doesn't mean it's healthy. So we have to internalize these concepts, and this is out in the Orthodox Jewish world as well. We're not happy with ourselves until we lost another pound. If we're healthy, we're eating well most of the time. We have to understand that we live in this world. There's so much available to us. And to have strong will and power, if you have it, great. But not to beat yourself over the head over the fact that you're not thin. Number 5, stuff is good. The more you have, the better it is. That's not true. Whatever you have is good for you. And I want to share a small story. The Chafetz Chaim had a visitor over, and the visitor saw how simply the Chafetz Chaim was living, and he said, "Where's all your furniture?" And he said, um, what furniture? Where's your fine things? And the Chafetz Chaim said, where are your things to his guest? And the visitor said, I don't have much with me. I'm just passing through the town, he meant. The Chafetz Chaim said, in his beautiful, wonderful way, I too am passing through. I'm passing through this world. Nothing I have I'm going to take with me. We don't take anything except our good deeds. So let's not get stuck with stuff. Yes, it's nice to live in a beautiful way. It's nice to have nice things. However, not to cloud and crowd our brains all day long with stuff. How much the more I have, the better it is, which is a fallacy. The last false ideal that we may live by, is you deserve. I personally had a very difficult time understanding this a number of years ago until I've learned and I healed in this way. I personally thought that the more I do the right things, then I will deserve the outcome. If I press the right buttons, the outcome will come. What I hope for, what I want. And the truth is, this isn't true. I don't deserve anything. Everything that I have in my life is a gift. Hashem, our God, is Elohim. He is merciful. He is merciful. He is kind. He's compassionate. Everything I do is good. Another name for Hashem is also Elohim, Hashem. He has many names. Another name he has is justice. We don't want to be accounted for every little thing that we do. And that's why Hashem, one of his names, is to be merciful. He's compassionate one. He's the merciful one. There's nothing that a baby did being born in this world deserving of a beautiful family, good parents, shelter, food, warmth. They just existed. These are all free gifts. We come to this world with a baggage. Some things in the baggage we don't like. That means we have to fix it. We come to this world from a previous life. We were born before. So if you have a deficiency, a difficulty, it's because it wasn't fixed in your past life. So you're here now in order to fix it. And we all have stuff to fix. So these 6 sublime messages can ruin, destroy a person's life, and it could bring a lot of suffering. However, if you learn on a consistent basis, on a regular basis, the Torah, and you pray every day for Hashem to help you, enlighten you, in order for you to live the truth, to internalize the truth, you are going to live a beautiful, wonderful life, even though your circumstances are the same. I want to give a lot of this credit to these beautiful ideas to Rebbetzin Esther Baylor Schwartz, and may we merit, God willing, to have the wisdom to live our lives with truth by learning regularly and by praying regularly. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming.